A rootless young man in Ceausescu's Romania crosses the Hungarian border looking for a better future. With his back against the wall in the post-socialist turmoil, he becomes the most successful bank robber in Hungarian history, the tough guy turned star. He did something others wouldn't dare. Always one step ahead of the cops and always down to whiskey before robbing a bank. Growing up in a broken home, Attila Ambrus was a troubled teenager, even spent time in a youth prison. Through a rather bizarre turn of events, he escaped to Hungary from Transylvania. But his new life turned out to be much harder than the old one. He was the goalkeeper on a hockey team, but still had no money, no girlfriend, but then he found something that he's really good at. He was reckless, fast, and meticulous. He started robbing post offices, banks, travel offices. The more he stole, the hungrier he got. Nothing was enough for himself and his new love, Paraska Moga. But his final job didn't go as planned, and the determined investigator, Zoltán Schneider, who's long been on his tail, finally caught him and made him face the consequences. But the cop-robber game is far from over. A story of a fascinating life, full of amazing pursuits, action scenes, told through the lens of legendary director of Control and Predators, Nimrod Antal. The movie is an adaptation of the real-life story of Attila Ambrus, a gentleman criminal often compared in Hungary to Sandor Rasha, the country's version of Robin Hood. Antal starts the film with a stylishly staged robbery that the mustachioed, Ray-Ban and leather jacket-clad hero pulls off in a bank. Then we go back to his childhood, and we soon realize that Attila, first-timer Ben Saleh, or the titular Whiskey Bandit, has been arrested and is now telling his life story to the detective, Zoltán Schneider, also seen this year in On Body and Soul, who has been hunting him for decades. Attila grew up in Transylvania in the 1980s and escaped to Hungary illegally by riding underneath a freight train. We see how he becomes a goalie for a hockey team in Budapest and finds a girlfriend, whose bourgeois father dismisses him as hopeless, without a job nor much chance of getting one. Trying to get a work permit, he goes to a corrupt government official in order to get him to pull some strings, but this does not work without greasing the wheels, as Antal's screenplay puts it. So he turns to robbing banks, not once hurting anybody, and soon gains a reputation as a folk hero. The nickname comes from the smell of whiskey he leaves behind, as he always drinks before a heist, first simply to calm his nerves, but later, more to uphold his reputation. This is an accomplished crime/action movie, fast-paced and fluid, elegantly shot and often funny, with a charismatic hero, rich period detail, and a lightly satirical view of the post-communist transition in Hungary. While this will work for local viewers in whose consciousness the story is very much alive and kicking, it raises the question of how well it will translate to international audiences. We do not understand why he is compared to Robin Hood when he uses the stolen money only for himself, be it to travel, buy his girlfriend expensive clothes, eat in fancy restaurants, gamble, or what have you. While one can grasp the idea that for Hungarians in the turbulent 1990s, the simple fact that someone was regularly outsmarting the state and mocking all it represented would give some rebellious satisfaction to common folk, this realization is undermined by some contradictory narrative decisions, such as a scene in which a group of passers-by, who notice a heist, go after Attila and his partner as they start running away with the money. The Whiskey Bandit is a production by Whisky's Film and will be released in Hungary on November 23 through Intercom.